Well,
Yeah, I can see
can do.
Okay, good.
Don't go too fast because most of these people,
Right, okay.
their English sucks.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
So, my name is Christopher Gallo. I'm Director of Photography out of Los Angeles. I'm here with Rutger Hauer. We're on the film set of Portable Life, where we're shooting this feature with the Canon 7D. And if you have any questions, you can go to GALLODP.com, send an email, whatever you want. It's GALLODP.com. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is that we're using a Nikon Prime on the Canon body. And the way that we did that is with a Nikon to Canon adapter. It was made by a company called Photodiox, F-O-T-O-D-I-O-X. You can get it on eBay. They have three. One is $17, one is $80, one is $120. Get the $80 one. The $120 has a sensor here that communicates with the camera, and it turns the camera off if you move it too much.
He gets such a sense when he's, when he's really going to interfere. This is when he comes.
Adam's here, so I have to, this is
business.
going to be like my third take. I can't keep doing
No,
takes.
he's left.
That's the first AD, so just get used to that. First AD needs questions, he comes and asks them. If you want to use a Canon Prime, it's fine, just use the Canon Prime. We shoot this camera in M. It's the only way that this camera will work, in manual mode. We taped it here, and you should also, because it's very easy to move this. So we ended up shooting a different, scene mode on the first day, which we weren't happy about. The second thing you should do when you get the camera is set your ISO and white balance. These are the buttons right here. First thing you do is you push the ISO button, and on the back, it'll come up and show you. Push the ISO, and it comes up here. Although I don't see it, so
do you need him?
check.
Do you need him?
Yeah, but
We can take a break. It's not a problem.
no worries.
Okay.
Here you adjust the ASA like this, rolling this thing. So set it. For daylight, you have to be at just 100. That's the slowest the camera goes, which means if you shoot outside, you have to put filters on, polarizer and ND. Otherwise, it's too bright. You can't shoot. The shutter speed of the camera you use at 50. If you're shooting at 24 frames per second, which we are, 1920 by 1080, which is full high definition resolution. So keep the shutter here inside. You'll see it down here at the bottom. It says 50. Here, you adjust it by here. You probably can't see that because of just the lighting and everything, but at 50, that's equivalent to a 24 frame shutter on this camera. So the highest ASA you should use this camera at, I've been taking it to 1600. I wouldn't go any faster than 1600. It can go up to, I think, 12,000, 3,500, but we're staying at 16 because if not, it starts to fall apart. The newer camera, the 1D Mark IV, can shoot at a higher ASA. You can see that this camera's been blacked out also. I blacked it out here and here. That's just for traveling and safety. It's an old photojournalism trick. They would black out their Nikon or Canon here because it makes the camera less desirable to steal. It becomes more, what's the word?
Nondescript.
Nondescript. Somebody sees Nikon here, they think, hello, that's mine. This one, maybe they don't look so much. So what else can I tell you?
Did you tell him about taping this? Yes, you did, right?
Yeah, that we taped the wheel here so I can't move. M for manual is the only mode that this camera shoots in. It produces fantastic images. We've been shooting with minimal light, firelight, candlelight, up at 1600 ASA, and I'll tell you what the issues are with this camera.
Well, what is the stabilizer, and the no sound?
Yeah, the issues that you have to deal with this camera are the focus. There's a very, very shallow depth of field. Guillaume, can you bring me the eyepiece, please? A company named Zacuto, Z-A-C-U-T-O, makes an eyepiece for this camera, and especially if you're shooting the exterior. Thank you so much. Guillaume, our camera assistant. It's nice, right? It has a diopter here. I've had to extend it all the way because of my vision. Even it was too close, so they realized that, so they made a higher bracket. This bracket comes with the eyepiece, and you basically just tape it on to the LCD. They have a low one, but you can just never really tell if it's completely 100% in focus, and it's really important because there's a very shallow depth of focus on this camera to start with. So I suggest the higher piece. It simply just sets on like that. Now you have an eyepiece on your camera. and you can see fantastic. Right now I'm inside the frame, and as a cameraman, that's where you want to be. You want to be inside the frame and paying attention. This is a manual lens, so you stop down here, you control your exposure here. If you're on a Canon lens, then you can do it with the wheels because the lens and the camera talks to each other.
Right.
We're going old school manual because the glass is nice. So they have the eyepiece. This will help a lot.
Is that the difference between the Canon and the Nikon glass, basically?
Yeah, each company makes
Yeah.
different, types of glass.
I see.
Zeiss,
Yeah.
Arri makes glass, Nikon, Canon, but
Right.
On the budget, a set of Nikon primes or Canon primes, I'm a Nikon man, but they didn't make this body. They can't. They're way behind on that. So, what was I telling you? The technical problems with this camera. Every camera has technical issues, right? So this camera's technical issues are the focus. You really got to make sure that you're focused good. Before you start shooting, there's a little square inside the frame that you'll see that you adjust with this button here. And you can move it around the frame anywhere you want. And after you do that, you push this magnifying button, which is here. Push it once and it goes in 5 times, push it twice and it goes in 10 times. So before I frame, I put the little X, before I start rolling, I put the little box inside where I want the focus to be. I then push the magnifying button. You can see that there's like a little magnifying glass here. I push it once, I get in, I get my critical focus, I push it again, double check it, and then I go back and I have the full frame again. I'm ready to roll, which is this button here. Very simple, start and stop. There's 2 modes, one is still, one is movie. We keep it in movie. An interesting thing about this camera is as you're rolling, right, I'm rolling right now on Rutger, and maybe it's at the end of the scene. In this particular film, we're using photographs in the movie also, so it's really beneficial. But even if I want to do a press photo, like let's say at the end of the scene, when I feel like that we have it, I simply just depress this button right here like a photo, and if you listen, it takes a picture right in the middle of the recording, and then it comes back up and continues recording. So you can't do it in the middle of a scene because you'll have a break in your movie timeline of your QuickTime file. But at the end of the scene or the beginning of the scene, if you like what you see, hit yourself a photo. This camera is recording a full RAW file size, as well as you can pick small, medium, or large JPEG. I use a medium because you can email it to people as, which pictures do you want. And then once they make their selections, or the editor makes the selections, you obviously use the RAW file for the maximum amount of information.
And you use this as a visual memory of the scene, or just pictures?
Like in this particular scene, in this particular movie, the character is a photographer. So she makes photographs. And as we have some frames, that she's so cool. Like we're filming her in, we also make a photograph of it. So that's one aspect of this camera. That's a good part, the still part. One of the difficult parts is the focus, which we went over. Use the focus button, but you can't use it during the scene. Once you start rolling, you can't use it. That's kind of a bummer. I think Canon will fix that. Because in the middle of the scene, as the actors move, sometimes you want to punch in real quick and just make sure it actually is sharp.
Right, so, or shift focus.
Yeah.
Right.
They have this thing called depth of field. Like if you're shooting the camera at a 2, which is the glass is wide open, you have a very minimal depth of field. It's much more difficult to keep things in focus. As you stop down to like 2.8, 4, 5, 6, you see it okay, Rucker?
Yeah, I'm just checking for recording.
Yeah,
I can't see it. I have
the
my glasses.
I can see it.
Yeah, okay.
And as you stop down towards 22, you increase your depth of field. So in the daytime, I've been trying to shoot it like a 5, 6, 8 because there's still a minimal depth of field, but it extends. Depth of field is like, if the depth of field is only 1 inch, that means that while you're shooting, only this area is going to be in focus.
Right.
And as you increase the stop from 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 11, 22, the depth of field grows. So now I'm, at say 4 feet, I'm guaranteed that it's going to be sharp at 4 feet and 3 to 4 inches in front and 3 to 4 inches in back. If I was shooting wide open at a 2 or a 1.8 and I have it on 4 feet, it's at 4 feet, and as you go an inch either way, it starts to get soft. So this is one aspect of it.
Yeah, but it's also the advantage because the lenses that have the depth of field and the focus somewhere make it look more like film and help the viewer to look at what we want them to look at and blur the rest.
Exactly.
Otherwise it looks fucking straight.
Then it just looks flat and
like this camera.
Like video a little bit, TV, stuff like that where everything is in focus.
No.
So, but it's so critical that you really have to pay attention to it. Another aspect of this camera you have to be careful about is it heats up. It gets really hot. And then we were shooting out Okay, granted it was 100 degrees out.